Welcome everyone. In today's video, we're going to take a look at 3 new DeFi innovations that I think need to be built. This would fill a hole in the market and would definitely get a lot of use. In fact, I'm surprised at least one of these hasn't been built yet. So let's get right into it. Okay, so the first thing I wanted to talk about, the first DeFi innovation that I think we should have here is a perpetual futures DEX that accepts any arbitrary collateral. So for example, you could deposit Dogecoin into this perpetual futures DEX, use that as collateral to trade against a Bitcoin perp. One of the great things about FTX and why it saw so much usage is that you were able to use a lot of different coins as collateral to trade there. I mean, you can see here you were able to use 1inch, Aave, Algorand, alpha tokens, as well as stocks as well, which made it really cool. And I think something like this would see a lot of usage, especially because you have a lot of people who like to denominate in, say, Ethereum or Bitcoin, for example. You could also use this to deposit Bitcoin and then short Bitcoin perps to collect funding in a bull market. 2x leveraged basis trading has actually beaten buy and hold Bitcoin, so that's actually quite interesting. Additionally, you can use this to create a delta neutral position, meaning that if the value of Bitcoin goes up or down, the value of your portfolio should not fluctuate, and in that way you can avoid centralized stablecoins. If you're someone that's paranoid that the US government is going to freeze all USDT, USDC, BUSD, you know, that sort of thing, then you can totally avoid stablecoins and then just create a delta neutral position through this particular perpetual futures DEX. Now, where would this be built? I think there's only one place where this is currently possible, and that would be 4chain. So I've created a little diagram here to sort of showcase what it might look like. And if you're familiar with the DeFi ecosystem, you probably know that this looks very similar to GMX, and that's what I've modeled this after. Now you could use various other different models like concentrated liquidity. You could have like a DAI vault that people trade against, but this is the one that I went for. So we'll start over here. You have liquidity providers who will deposit into the 4chain LP, and that will be built up of, like Bitcoin, Ethereum, Doge, Litecoin, Monero, BNB, some of those larger, more well-traded coins. And in return, they receive trading fees from the traders. So the traders will come along, they will deposit their collateral into a collateral vault. That could be, like Bitcoin or Ethereum, and then they can trade against that LP, and any losses they incur goes to the 4chain LP. In return, the 4chain LP provides margin for leverage trading, and it also pays out traders winnings. Now, I think if something like this were to actually work properly, you couldn't use any random token out there, any random sort of low float, low volume token. Anything that's sort of hard to liquidate on chain is not something that you'd want to end up using, and that's why I gave these as examples. Of course, you could throw in most of the plus $1 billion coins in there, and I think you'd be fine. Now, the next idea is a money market that accepts any arbitrary collateral. So again, this is something that I think could be built on top of 4chain. So for example, you could deposit BNB and then borrow algo against that position. So you could just imagine an Aave sitting on top of 4chain, and so you could deposit any random token and then borrow any random token against it. But again, this might be something that where you want to have a token that is easily liquidatable. No low volume, low market cap tokens. And so this opens up a few things that you could do with this money market. So it would allow users to leverage long or short any token. So imagine you wanted to go leverage long Bitcoin. You could deposit BTC, borrow Frax, sell that Frax into BTC, and then sell that Bitcoin back into Frax and return the loan whenever you want to close that position. Additionally, obviously you could go ahead and short sell any token that is in the money market as well. And of course, say for example, you're an Ethereum whale and you want to go ahead and start farming on other chains. You could deposit Ethereum here, borrow Sol USDC, you could borrow Avalax USDC, and then go ahead and start farming on other chains as well. And so there are a lot of use cases here. Additionally, this could allow for more exotic collateral. Imagine LP tokens from Curve, for example, or Aave tokens as well. Those sort of things you could definitely go ahead and implement into this money market, as well as NFTs. Imagine being able to deposit a CryptoPunk in there or a Bored Ape and then borrow Avalanche against that position. That would be really cool. But the current issue with both of the ideas that I just spoke about, the perpetual futures DEX and money market that accepts any arbitrary collateral that is multi-chain, is that 4chain doesn't have the liquidity to do something like this right now. For example, if you wanted to trade 100 ETH into BNB, you'd actually eat 9.93% in slippage, and that would cost you about 12k. And so 4chain needs to have deeper pools of liquidity before we can start using DeFi protocols like that. But this is an issue that I think can be fixed in the future. You've got to wait, at most 5 years before you'll be able to do this sort of thing. And the last idea that I wanted to talk about today is leverage stablecoin trading. Now, the one thing that crypto has done right is stablecoins, and we can see this, the total Ethereum stablecoin supply, it's gone up massively from 2018. And I mean, it peaked earlier on this year, but we're in a bear market, and so a lot of money has flowed out of crypto. But you can see here there is a lot of volume going on for trading stablecoins. Stablecoin DEXs are basically the backbone of any DeFi ecosystem. Now, there are a couple of use cases for this. Of course, it could be used for arbitrage. For example, DAI could come off peg by 2 to 3 cents, and then you'd be able to get more efficient arbitrage there if you're able to actually leverage long DAI. Additionally, you could make money short selling any stablecoin you would like if you know that a depeg is incoming. Another use case is the ability to hedge. So for example, this would have been really handy if we had something like this around when Terra collapsed. You would have been able to hedge any UST position you had in Anchor. So how would this look like? Well, we've just copied the GMX model again. Liquidity providers could deposit various different stablecoins into this Curve LP, and then traders are able to deposit collateral and then do some margin trading. Now, I could see a lot of use in this. I think a lot of people out there are very bearish Tether. They think that this is a fraud. Well, you can go ahead and use something like this to actually go ahead and short Tether if you wanted to, without having a lot of money on centralized exchanges. And we know that centralized exchanges can't really be trusted with the recent blow up of FTX. Of course, you could use a different model. I think a Uniswap v3 concentrated liquidity style AMM could be very good. So that's all the ideas I had for you today. If you have any input, please leave them in the comments down below. And if you have any more ideas about new DeFi protocols that could emerge and get a lot of usage, please let me know. If you're a builder and you've seen this video and you want to start building any one of these projects, I'd love to have a chat. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and make sure to subscribe for more videos like this one.